Hi, I'm Hannah Lyons. I used to be a restaurant chef. Now I work here at Heritage in our wholesale department, and we are going to break down this Heritage turkey. So the first thing you always want to do is get everything out from the cavity, and usually it's going to be the neck. Leave that to the side, and then there's usually a plastic bag, usually on the other side, all of your organs in it. So we'll put that off to the side to use later. And then as long as your turkey is relatively dry, you can get started. I like to get started, we're gonna spatchcock this one first, which just basically means taking out the backbone so it can lay flat. You can use kitchen shears for that, but if you don't have them, you can also use a chef's knife. And since this is a big bird, usually you wanna use a bigger knife for something like that. So I'm just gonna kind of feel around for where the backbone is, because we wanna go on either side of that. Can help to get the tail out, give yourself some space. And we're gonna try to keep as close to the backbone as possible and work our knife in and down. And since you are cutting through bone, just go really slow. The bones you're cutting through are not super thick. They shouldn't put up too much of a fight, so you just have to kind of get your knife in the right spot. Here we go, open up. Another organ that escaped the bag, we'll put off to the side. Yeah, right? So it should be up under there, but it can, okay.
Nice. There we go.
Thank you. All right, so Nick got our back out for us, which we're gonna save and use for stock. Anything else? All right, so now this bird is spatchcocked, where you took out the backbone, and we're gonna kind of crack it open flat so that it lays flat. So this would be ready to go in the oven just like this if you want to cook it spatchcocked. It would take way less time than the bird with its backbone in, and it would give you a lot of space in your oven to put other things in, but we're gonna keep breaking it down into further into more parts. So I think we're gonna start with the wings, taking the wings off the body. So you're just gonna kind of cut the skin a little so we can see what's underneath and see where the joint is. You can kind of feel around for where you think it's gonna be. And then what you wanna do is pop it. All right, so you can see right here, we have the wing joint. You can hear that popping. So now is when I would go in, try and get my knife in between. All right, so there we have one wing separated. I'm just gonna do the same thing on the other side. Feeling around under the skin for where the joint is. Okay, it's back here. You can see it pops out. Once you get it in the right spot, it should pop out easily. All right, so that's our second wing. All right, now we are gonna separate the thigh from the rest of the turkey. And this is where you can run into some trouble if you cut the skin too far up on the breast. You're not gonna have a lot of skin over the breast. It's gonna stay with the thigh, which is okay, but you wanna try and leave more skin with the breast. so that you have more skin covering your breast, and the thigh doesn't need as much skin with it. So that'll help keep the breast nice and juicy when you cook it. So try not to go too far up. I mean, there's a natural separation between the two, but try to leave more skin with the breast than with the thigh if you can. So I'm just cutting through the skin first. You can see this part kind of comes away on its own, so you can just pull this back. All right, we're gonna break those down further in just a second, but there's your first leg. And you can see we left it so that the skin kind of tucks around over the breast. All right, here's the other leg. It still has, looks like it still has a little bit of the back attached, but we can take that out later. So now you could certainly go in the oven with your breast just like this and cook it with the bone on. But I'm gonna take it off. So this is, if you've ever done this with a chicken, it's pretty much the same thing. You're just gonna cut right here down the center before we separate it from the bone. So just go slow, but you're basically gonna go along either side of this bone that runs down the middle. Just try and keep your knife running nice and tight parallel to that breastbone. Use your fingers to feel everything. It almost like pulls away on its own. You shouldn't have to use your knife the whole time. Letting gravity do a little bit of the work, but just running your knife alongside the bone. All right, so there we have one breast off the bone. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing on this side. Cut as close to the bone as we can. All right, again, I'm just feeling where the bone is so that I can stay behind. And then here you can see it separates pretty naturally, the tender. You have the this piece running right here, which we can remove later, but you can pretty much just use your hands to see where it connects with the rest of the breast. And decide where you want to cut it, if you want to remove that. So that would be that piece. Another breast. Then we're going to go back in and separate the leg from the thigh. All right, so same ideas with the wings. We're going to feel around where we think the joint probably is, but then we're going to cut through the skin so we can take a look before we make any bigger cuts. Cut through the skin with our knife, take a look. And this one you really can pop out if you're determined to. Cut through the tendon that's holding it together. So yeah, you should be able to just stick your knife right between the two, so you're not actually cutting through any bone. Wiggle your knife a little. And they come apart. There's your thigh. There's your leg.